Greetings, traveler. I know it may be tempting not to heed warnings telling you to turn back now, but this one you might want to pay attention to if you're sensitive towards sexual content or foul language in a podcast. We will be swearing during this episode, and we will be talking about some not so PG 13 things. So, this is your one and only chance to turn back now. Please enjoy the show.
Excited for the May the 4th episode I am. Ready to talk about why I hate the sequel trilogy I am. I can't wait for Pertuset and Jordan to get here. I am. Pathetic excuse for a song you are.
All right, I have the plastic dinosaurs. Who's ready for the Firefly Marathon?
Not knowing if the mic is even picking up your whistling. I am. Firefly.
Firefly. Oh, also, somebody has to volunteer to get impaled. I vote not me.
Pertuset. Impaled you will be.
Promise?
But this is the May the 4th episode.
I thought we were doing like a Firefly bit.
I thought no one else was watching.
The Star Wars episode it is.
Are you going to talk like that the entire episode?
Mm-mm.
I am holding you to that.
You like Phantom Menace, don't you?
Nah, bro, it's not even that good.
Yes, you do.
Nah, man, I didn't care for it,
Yes,
man.
you
do.
do.
There's the fade in.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the Nat One podcast, aka Nope, because nope, you're not gonna want to hear what we're about to have to say. I'm Pertuset.
I'm Levi.
And I'm Jordan.
Oh, I'm out of drink. I drank that whole G Fuel, by the way.
You're going to die.
I'm
I'm
not
gonna
talking like that for the entire
You're
episode.
going to die.
Oh, very befitting.
I'm not talking like that for the entire episode. I refuse, and you can't make me.
Coward.
It's going to kill me. I won't be able to do the next episode. I
Coward.
might do it on and off, maybe once in a few times. Maybe for some funnies, but yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Star Wars episode. May the 4th.
Stars.
Happy May the 4th, everybody. Presumably, I think we're like close to May the 4th. I don't know.
Let me check. Let me. May the 4th is a Wednesday.
Oh,
Indeed.
so it should be on
Yeah,
the
we
money.
come out on May the 4th, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the May the 4th episode. May the 4th be with you, everyone. And also,
And also, happy Cinco de Mayo tomorrow.
Yes.
so we're going to talk about not just Star Wars today, but we're going to talk about some sci-fi in general. But, you know, Star Wars, that's one of the big ones. That's the big poppy of sci-fi in terms of modern popularity and making it popular. That alongside Star Trek, those are the two big ones everyone knows about.
But we all acknowledge that Star Wars is better than Star Trek.
I mean,
I'm
I
going to
do.
start a war. I'm going to start a war.
I have relatives that like Star Trek more, and I don't talk to them.
And I'm not the sci-fi guy. So
Yeah, so I think it would be great for us to start off by talking about how much we know about. Are we gonna start with Star Wars? Are we gonna start with Star Wars?
yeah,
I
this
think we're
is Star
starting with
Wars
Star Wars,
Day.
yeah.
Let's start with
Okay,
Star
okay.
Wars.
Yeah.
I think we should start off by talking about how much we each individually know about Star Wars,
Oh,
just to set
shoot.
the tone for the audience.
We're gonna be here for 2 hours, Levi.
Yeah, Levi gets to
I'm-
go last.
I'm not gonna do it for 2 hours. I'm gonna keep it brief,
All right.
and I'll go
I'm
last.
setting a timer.
And since
Yeah.
Pertuset just said he's not the sci-fi guy, he gets to go first.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that sci-fi's cool enough. I'm more of a fantasy dude in general, and Star Wars never super grabbed my attention. I've watched all the Star Wars movies a couple times over because of the friends I have, the company I keep. They're fine. I couldn't tell you half the character names or the events of the movies. They kind of lose my attention. But I respect them and appreciate them for what they've done for the field of sci-fi, but I just find them to be all right. I think there's a guy named Luke in one of the movies. And the bad guy is like his dad or something like that.
Spoilers! Oh my god.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I think
When did the first one
1970.
come out in 1973? It's
yeah,
been
something like that.
it's been almost 50 years.
You would be surprised there are people that still do not know that. And
Okay,
still
but
think
I
it's a
feel like
surprise.
even if they don't know
The
it,
statute of
it's been
limitations is
50
up.
years.
Yeah.
The poor 12-year-olds that find our podcast before they watch Star Wars. No.
And us saying it's your fault.
It's your fault. It's been out.
Your fault that you spoiled it. You should have watched it. I'm 12 years old.
But yeah, I also did watch Mandalorian,
Yeah.
both seasons, and yeah, that's. But like I said, first off, I'm bad at retaining information from shows and movies, especially when they get into the nitty gritty. So I don't recall much detail. I just know what the Force is vaguely. I know what is it? Midichlorians are vaguely, and then the rest is sci-fi. There are weird alien species, weird alien technology, and spaceships. Ta-da! Star Wars. Borden.
Oh, is that my new name? Okay. I grew up in a Star Wars household, and the audio listeners cannot see because there are no visual watchers that I am actually recording next to all 3 posters from the original trilogy are on my basement wall. My dad has a Darth Vader lightsaber on his desk that actually lights up. It's a lamp. We're very big Star Wars people. I have seen all of the movies multiple times. I have seen most of the television shows. We're very big Star Wars people. And I'm a film major, so I have extensively researched into how the Star Wars movies fit into the mythic structure and how Star Wars reflects the monomyth and all of that jazz. So if you ever want to hear me drone on about the monomyth, Star Wars will be heavily featured in that conversation. I love Star Wars.
Ask us, we'll put out a TikTok.
Please, I would love to talk about the monomyth.
Maybe you should just do it. Maybe just don't even wait for them to ask.
I will. This is
Force
a threat.
them.
This is a threat. And now Levi.
Yeah. If Jordan's a big Star Wars person, I'm the biggest Star Wars person.
Start the timer.
That's the thing. My household wasn't a Star Wars household. Like my dad went and saw the movies when they came out when he was younger, and he thought they were great and everything, but he wasn't like a fanboy of them. So I don't even remember how I got introduced to Star Wars, honestly. But I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. We've had the episode where we've talked multiple episodes where I've been like, oh, I love Tolkien so much. I love Lord of the Rings. It's my favorite. But I was introduced to Star Wars first. So Star Wars was like my introduction to fantasy, because it's science fiction. Star Wars is kind of its own brand of fantasy, in a way. And it just enthralled me. Everything about it enthralled me. I've seen all of the movies, regrettably. I don't like the sequel trilogy. I do not like the sequel trilogy. I'm one of those people. I haven't read like all of the books or anything, but I've read a handful of the extended universe before Disney owned it. Those books. I've read the Thrawn trilogy. I've read 4 books. I've read the Thrawn trilogy and I've read something else, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. But I have also I've done browsing on my free time where I haven't read the books or been able to get a hold of the books or comics, where I've just looked up what happens in them to inform myself of the wider Star Wars story and all the cool, wacky stuff that's happening there. I've played Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. I played the Old Republic MMO when it came out very briefly. I played it before it had any DLCs or anything and didn't play it by the time any of the DLCs came out. So I was like very early player of that and dropped it. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, I watched all the shows. I think all the Star Wars shows. Yes, I've watched no, I haven't watched Rebels, but I do know the basic story of Rebels. So like, I know what happens in Rebels. I haven't watched the show, but Clone Wars, absolutely amazing. Probably my favorite Star Wars show. Do really like Mandalorian, but I don't think anything's going to be able to top Clone Wars, at least not for a while for me. But speaking of Mandalorian, season 3 got confirmed for this summer.
Indeed.
Yeah. So we've got that to look forward to.
Very excited.
I thought it was going to be in the fall or the winter. I was not prepared for it to be in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's closing in fast.
That's nice. Oh, Pedro Pascal's getting out there. He's
Yeah.
coming
He
back to
is.
us. He's coming back to his home. Actually, I don't know what he did before Mandalorian, but I know he's done a lot of big stuff since he's done the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Like he's in that new Nicolas Cage movie that at the time that this episode's coming out should be out. That movie should be out, but at present
Oh,
is
Unbearable
recording.
Talent.
Yeah,
Yes.
the something weight of unbearable talent. Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage. I'm very
What?
excited to see
I
that.
have not heard of this.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal plays the like villain of it. He is a super rich dude that hires Nicolas Cage to come over to his house. he loves
Unbearable weight
Nicolas
of
Cage.
massive talent.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
The last few movies Nicolas Cage has done have just been like him being himself in the movie.
Yeah.
Because he
He's just kinda
did
crazy.
Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah.
That's the last one I know that he did before this one. That's all I'm basing this off of.
Oh, he did that one that I had you guys watch. What was it, like Mom and Dad
Mom
or
and
something
Dad.
like that?
Oh yeah, and he was pretty much himself in that one. Yeah.
Crazy mode.
Sawzall.
Sawzall means it saws. Oh.
Going to Star Wars though, we should probably talk about them vaguely more.
Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage in a Star Wars movie?
What's your
Would be
favorite Star Wars
amazing.
movie? Which one's your favorite?
The holiday special.
I couldn't
That's not a
between
movie.
them.
It is a movie. It's
No.
horrifying. I love it.
Not real.
It's very real and it can hurt you.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't differentiate them in my head. Oh, I think I like number 3 a lot.
Revenge of the Sith.
Wait, no, I mean number 3 in order, like
Episode 6 is what he's saying.
Episode 6.
no, I'm saying
Episode
number
3.
3. Episode
Number-
3. Yes.
Revenge of the
three.
Sith.
Oh,
That's a
Revenge of
lot
Yeah.
of people love Revenge of the Sith. Yes, a
the
lot of
only
people really like
good
Revenge of the Sith.
prequel movie.
Oh, that's what a
Yeah.
lot of people say. Yeah, it's the only.
It's got the memes. It's got a
It
lot
does
of
have the memes.
It definitely is the one that is the least insufferable to sit through of the prequels. And I say that being someone who's like, I think the prequels have value. They still are pretty bad in terms of writing.
Oh yeah, they just exist to make me laugh because of how bad they are, not the merit they have.
I hate sand.
It's rough.
It gets everywhere.
I remember we all were sitting there at a house and we were watching them, and we just kept every single time there was a meme format, all of us went, "There it is!"
Yeah.
Every time.
You don't really realize how many memes come from Star Wars until you sit through and get to see all of them in
Yeah.
order.
I'm rewatching Breaking Bad right now, and I'm doing the same thing where I'm going like, "There it is! That's the meme."
I remember when, because I remember Pertuset had never seen Revenge of the Sith, and we watched for the first time that scene of Palpatine and Anakin in the theater when he's talking to him about the Sith, and he says the ironic. He says that, and Pertuset goes, that's exactly how I thought he would say it, and it made me laugh when he said that. But yeah, okay, Revenge of the Sith. That's respectable. I can respect that, Jordan.
My actual favorite is episode 6. I like Return of the Jedi.
Hey, okay, that makes me feel better about myself because everyone who's like big Star Wars fans are all like, Empire Strikes Back is the best one, objectively.
It's
You
a
have to-
good one, but
It's
I
gotta
I
be
like
your
6.
favorite. I honestly think Empire Strikes Back is like probably like the most out of the original trilogy. It's probably the most action packed and like moves the fastest without breaking flow or anything. And I think that's why people like it the most.
Is
Is
that
because
5?
yes, that's episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love 6. And that's the thing too, is a lot of people don't like 6 because it did have some pacing issues and the Ewoks.
I love the Ewoks.
The Ewoks. A lot of people hate the Ewoks. I don't hate them, but I'm also not in the love camp either. I'm like indifferent on the Ewoks. I feel like they weren't necessary for the story, but I just absolutely adore, which this is a big reason why I hate the sequel trilogy. I absolutely adore Luke Skywalker's character and his character arc coming full circle, and it's just so good.
Oh wait, was 5 is when he Yoda'd, right?
Yes.
Yes, 5 is when
Okay.
he goes and meets
5,
Yoda and trains him.
5 is I have trouble keeping track of all the events of 5 because there's so much that happened in 5.
Yeah,
Because 5 is Hoth,
yep. It starts at Hoth.
Yoda,
That's
Yoda.
Hoth is
And
cold
then-
place.
Yes,
Hoth is the ice planet.
Um,
and so the movie starts off with him gutting his mount and
Yeah.
sleeping in it.
oh
and
yeah.
And then you have Han getting encased in carbonite. There's just so much that happens during that
Cloud
movie.
City.
Mhm.
The duel
Lando.
between Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader.
You get
in
Lando
Cloud
in that
City.
episode.
Jabba stuff.
Jabba's the beginning of
Jabba's
episode 6.
Episode
6.
6.
Okay.
Yeah. And spoiler alert, heavy spoiler alert, even though it's a 50-year-old movie, so you really should have seen it by now. Episode 5 is also where I am your father. That's the I am your father is in episode 5.
No, it's no, I am your father, not
It's
Luke, I am your
I am
father.
your father. Yeah.
That bugs me.
It's like
Every
the
time.
Jaws quote. How's the Jaws quote go, Jordan?
We're gonna need a bigger boat? Question mark.
I think it's your is the common misconception.
Yeah.
But it's one of those ones that often people goof
Mhm.
by like one word. But yeah, I do want to talk. We'll find a time eventually. I want to talk about the porgs.
I do like
Huh?
porgs. They're the one saving grace of the sequel
fall
trilogy.
into the Ewok category for me, which is I don't like them because they were made with the idea of there needed to be toys of them. But I do like them because if you look beyond them, there needs to be toys of them. They're not unlikable. They're not bad. They're just cute little animals that are in there to be cute and fun. But I dislike them for the fact that they were made specifically to be like, we gotta
They're goofy.
we gotta make money off this.
They're very goofy. Although I will say I will defend my love of Ewoks because I like Endor so much as a setting. Because
Endor.
I love the forest that they shot the
It's just
Endor scenes in because
yeah.
it's beautiful.
That was
I
just
think
an-
that's where my love of Ewoks comes
an
from.
entire planet that is just a California redwood tree forest.
Well, and you also get the best C-3PO moments with the
Mhm.
Ewoks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I respect science fiction whenever it does something unexpected for science fiction, which involves people living in a jungle with like kind of lesser technology. You wouldn't expect that in a science fiction, and I like when they do something like that because like, how do these people live in a super hyper technological environment and make it just fine? Guerrilla tactics.
That's actually something that with my extended universe brain, that's actually something Star Wars does quite frequently. Actually, there's a ton of people and stuff, which is weird too, because a lot of the way they do it is like, yeah, the tribal people know about all the technology. They just don't have it or don't care.
Yeah.
So like the tribal people are like very aware that like people are just out flying in space, but they're like, I don't care. I'm just content to live here
Not for
on my
me.
planet. Yeah, and not
Yeah.
worry about it. Which is so interesting because in Star Trek, like you have stuff where it's like we must go meet the primitives, and the primitive people are like, you are gods because you have technology that bring you from sky down to us.
Yeah.
But then in Star Wars, it's like, no, you came from your spaceship, right? Person with like a bow and arrow slung around
Yeah.
their neck and wearing a loincloth. You came from your spaceship.
I see it parked right over there.
Yeah, it's right over there.
Or
I used to fly back in my day.
or the use of a lightsaber. It's like, you guys are super duper advanced technologically and you're still using hand-to-hand combat, and they're like, actually it's the best kind of combat you
Yeah.
can do.
I can't even fight in melee. All my homies hate the Tau.
That reminded me from 40K. This is mostly sci-fi, but in 40K there's also the group, the Snake Biters, I think is what they're called, the orc culture, where they're like, we hate all orc technology. We only want squigs, which if you don't know what a squig is, it's a two-legged, like big-mouthed lizard creature that they just ride on.
That's
Or
reasonable.
launch, like a catapult. They launch squigs at people. They don't use any technology other than squigs.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No gun.
Only
Just
squigs.
yeah.
No gun, only squig.
But yeah, out of Star Wars, okay. I think I like psychologied myself into loving porgs. Cause like my high school, cause like okay, in high school, that's when the sequels were coming out, my high school years, and people had all these opinions about the movies, about if they're bad or good, or what they did wrong, what they did right, and stuff. And I was just like, I just like the porgs because they're cute. Then people were like, oh, the porgs are, marketable and stuff like that. And then I was like, oh, you're right. And I actually really don't like them that much because it's not like they serve any actual purpose, but they're just cute. And I was telling people that I liked them, and it became a meme that I liked them. So I would buy merch of them.
You also played a porg in a D&D campaign.
Yes, I did play a porg in a D&D campaign. It was keeping up the image, and I've kind of made myself come to a point now where I'm like, I like them, ironically, but it has now become unironic. Like,
You
And I just
Stockholm
like
syndromed yourself. Well, actually, no, because you didn't start unironically liking them, did you, or did you start unironically liking them?
I started ironically liking them.
Yeah, so it's not Stockholm syndrome because it wasn't you liked them and then didn't like them and then liked them again.
It turned to a genuine love of porn.
Yes. And now I really like them, and I just they're not even that creative as far as like a sci-fi
so
fantasy
derpy.
creature. It's just like, what if we put a cat's face on a bird?
Or
Oh my
but I
god, it
love 'em.
really is. I had not
It
thought
is!
about that.
Yeah, that's all it is. I mean, if you put the cat ears on, it'd be probably cuter, but still, I just kind of love porgs now. And
you
that's
know
my
they're
takeaway.
what they're officially termed as by Star Wars canon.
Huh?
They're a species of sea-dwelling beakless birds.
That makes sense.
I don't like it.
The fact that they're just beakless. I think that's the thing though, is like just because there's no such thing as like beakless birds on Earth. So we don't have anything to actually compare it to. But I guess beakless birds could be a thing that exists.
Yeah.
That's just
It's
weird though.
It's very simple, and it's definitely made to be cute. I don't know. I just respect them and I love them. And my favorite scene of all the sequels is probably the one where Chewie almost eats one of them, and the porgs get mad or get like sad. Spoiler alert for Chewie almost eating a porg. Or does he do actually eat a porg? I can't remember now.
I don't remember. It's been a hot second since I've watched the newer ones.
I think he cooks one and then decides not to eat.
I think,
the Wikipedia page, there is a picture, the caption, a group of porgs watching Chewbacca roast dead porgs.
That's right, because they had one roasting over the campfire.
Yeah. F to that porg was actually the way to win before episode 9 came out. Didn't even need episode 9 if they left that porg alive.
There you go. I also forgot to mention whenever we were talking about episode 6, the other reason that episode 6 is my favorite is because it is a yearly thing. On Christmas, we put on the Darth Vader Yule log, which is just like a 3-hour long looping video of the end of episode 6 of just Darth Vader's corpse burning with fire crackling noises behind it. So yes, that's my family trivia for the day. We watch the Darth Vader Yule log every Christmas.
Wait a minute. Wasn't it revealed that like the porgs actually have some sort of like strange, incredibly important connection to the Force?
I don't know.
I remember way back when I made the D&D character, I think it was you, Levi. I was like, I want to do a porg, and you were like, actually, I looked into it, and they like are knowledgeable of like all languages or something like that.
I don't know. Let me look. I don't remember this.
It was a long time ago.
Porgs apparently understood certain linguistic terms. When they overheard Rey refer to Chewbacca as Chewie, they mistook it to be the word Chewie, like something is chewy, leading them to wonder whether Chewbacca would serve as her food. They're young, called porglets.
Oh my god. Really?
I don't think they are intelligent. I don't remember saying that they were intelligent anywhere.
Well, in my headcanon, they are. Intelligent and force sensitive.
Porgs
They're the quiet watchers.
They're pulling all the strings.
They are the Switzerland of the Force they're the neutral force in Star Wars.
They are actually the ones that brought balance to the Force.
Yes.
Screw the Skywalker line. It's just porgs.
If they actually had brought balance to the Force, all Force users would have just become porgs. And that's why Luke is on that island with all of them.
No!
He got the call. He had to go join his kind.
I mean, did you see what he was wearing whenever they like go meet him in the sequels? He was like halfway there already, white on top, brown on the bottom.
He's dressed like a porg.
They're not canon.
All right, we're gonna stir up the fans or haters. Talk about the sequels.
Nobody loves to hate Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't love it. I hate hating Star Wars. It's just a violent circle of hate. But yeah, no, I hate the sequels. I think they, if you couldn't grasp from my earlier comments, audio listeners, love you to death. I think that they absolutely destroy the original trilogy's character arcs and also the original trilogy and prequel trilogy's entire story, and therefore have no ground to stand on and should go die in a garbage fire. Not the actors. The actors are all great people. and I think did amazing jobs. But I also think that's another reason why I hate the sequels. And this one is like objectively not because I'm a Star Wars fan. I hate the sequels because they really shorthanded a lot of the actors in their characters and what their characters were being built up to be.
John Boyega got screwed.
Yeah, John Boyega got screwed. John Boyega and oh god, who's the guy that plays Poe Dameron?
Oscar Isaac.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
Moon
both
Knight.
got
Yes,
screwed
they did.
hard because their characters had so much potential, and that's the problem with the directors that they had for this. Was normally when you do a multiple director thing, you hand over what your ideas were for this movie to the next director, and then that director says, okay, I'll follow up on these and give my own spin on it and it'll be good. Well, when they did that with Rian Johnson just said, no, I'm not going to take any of the things that J.J. Abrams did and use them. I'm just going to do something entirely different.
We are on the exact same page, because that is the thing. I thought the first movie was enjoyable enough. Like, it's not my favorite Star Wars movie, but it was okay. And it was fun. And there were like cool callbacks to the original. And I mean, it was intriguing that you've got all these new characters. But then the second one is the worst out of the entire trilogy. And then the third one just had to come in and try to clean up the mess of the second one.
Yep. Which, yeah. I mean, I wonder how it would have gone if Rian Johnson actually went off of some of the things that J.J. Abrams wanted. I mean, I also know I've heard that J.J. Abrams didn't have like actually a lot because he thought that he wasn't going to be directing any of the other ones. So he was like, okay, I don't need to think of much. I just need to start it. So maybe that was, but still at the same time, there was like, even if J.J. Abrams didn't have like written down on paper what he wanted, there was still a trajectory. There was an obvious trajectory that he had given, which was like, you know, what's the character's names? Stormtrooper John Boyega. Finn. His character was clearly like ex-Stormtrooper, has to come to terms of being part of this evil, pretty much fascist regime and like grow and become a better person because he was a Stormtrooper. He ends up being relegated to shouting Rey for the next two movies.
Yeah.
Poe Dameron, ace X-Wing fighter pilot, pretty much the successor to Wedge Antilles and Luke Skywalker in the Resistance. And he obviously, because the Resistance is supposed to basically be the rebellion again, which I never liked, but he's pretty much supposed to be like the new leader pretty much of the Resistance. He's supposed to be the up and coming like leader guy. And then in the second movie, they do that, but then they're like, but actually he's just stupid. And an idiot because he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's bad because he was skeptical because the commander wasn't telling him what the plan was, even though she had a plan, but he was skeptical because it seemed like she didn't have a plan, and he's bad because of that. He's not justified for being skeptical that they didn't have a plan while they were being hunted down by their enemy. No, he's just stupid and an idiot.
All right. Levi's popped off. So
I hate it so much.
I'm going to continue the popping off here in a
There's
second.
more that I could say, but I should probably stop.
just pass the baton. It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
We're making laps right now. As someone that had no a major connection or affiliation to the Star Wars universe, I went in watching the sequel films and I was like, let's see what they got. I pretty much viewed them separate from the Star Wars universe going into it because I didn't remember enough about the movies to connect them in the first place. Watching the first one, Force Awakens, that's 7, right?
Yes.
It was fine. I liked the intro, like with Poe and with Finn and with Adam Driver's Kylo Ren. I liked the introduction of those characters. People get very heated about this. I didn't like Rey's character. I liked the actress. Thought she was fine. I just thought her character was kind of Lukey in that it was like, or maybe a good comparison is what's his nuts from Matrix?
Neo?
Yeah, Neo. Very, very wow. You know, very walking in, cool protagonist, learning everything. Pretty much the audience. Like we sit and see through her eyes, and she's also, you know, got all the power and stuff. And much like Luke, I didn't care for it. I was like, I'm kind of bored. Show me the conflicting, interesting characters again. You know, like the one who, spoilers, is the child of Han Solo and has force powers and is evil, and then show me the guy that used to be an ex pilot, or show me the guy that's an ace pilot, show me the guy that used to be a stormtrooper. Those are cool and new ground for Star Wars. Don't show me another Luke. Then 2 came out, hated it as not even as a Star Wars movie, but as a movie.
It's just
was
not a
boring,
good movie.
Plot holes abundant. Pacing was awful. Nothing mattered.
Yep.
And then it had one or two cool shots.
Luke Skywalker's back, yay! And then he died.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, I liked 9 as a standalone movie quite a lot. I thought if you go into it not caring about Star Wars as a franchise, and you're like, I just want to watch a cool sci-fi action movie, it delivers on that. It had some of the coolest scenes of the sequels of like fights and combat and such. But as far as Star Wars, no, I know that most people get very passionate and think it's awful. Pass the baton.
Story-wise, it's absolute dog shit. Story-wise, it completely invalidates the story of the original and prequel trilogies by bringing Palpatine back to life.
Yeah.
Which I gotta be fair. I gotta dog on the extended universe as well. The extended universe also did that back in like the 9. I actually don't remember. I believe it's called Dark Empire is the name of the comics that it came out, where also Palpatine came back in those. And if I remember correctly, back when it happened, a lot of people hated that too, because they were like, this invalidates the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy or the prequel trilogy. Why are we doing this? But yeah, no, it completely destroys Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader's characters. It completely destroys Luke Skywalker's character and their entire purpose. And also, I gotta say, even if you don't like Luke Skywalker, Pertuset, you gotta at least admit though that even Rey is worse than him, because Luke went through the whole training arc and then was like, oh my God, my friends are in trouble. I got to go save them. And everyone said, don't do it. You'll get your shit rocked. And he was like, I'm going to do it. And he went and he got his shit rocked. So even though he was the protagonist, he did still get his shit kicked in and got his hand cut off. Whereas Rey doesn't fail ever.
Yeah, I think Rey got screwed by writing, but let's hear what the film majors got to say about it.
I was going to say, from a film perspective, I have a lot of opinions about Rey, because Rey was written to be a parallel to Luke Skywalker. She is very much parallel to both Anakin and Luke Skywalker's stories. And so the thing is, what we were talking about before, with the second of the original trilogy being such an action-packed trilogy where a lot of Luke Skywalker's character growth comes from, the second movie for this trilogy was horseshit. So Rey didn't get any of that character development that Luke got in the second movie of the original trilogy, because whatever the fuck happened in the second movie for the sequel trilogy happened. And so you didn't get any of that training arc and the growth and the character development that you get for Luke. And so that's why I think a lot of people, other than the sexism, but like, that's why I think a lot of people think that Rey still comes across as a Mary Jane and as a character that does not have much development or much character at all, because she didn't get character development. She really got screwed along with all of the other characters. And I think that's also the thing, is the new trilogy, the characters in the new trilogy, the main trio in the new trilogy had the makings and were written to be kind of not foils, but like parallels, and kind of parallels to the left of the original trio that you see with Han, Leia, and Luke. And they could have been that if they would have gotten that second movie, because I think that's part of the issue with the second movie, is they split them up. Which, to be fair, they are somewhat split up across the second movie, but they do have those moments where they are very much a group and they function as that unit with that trio of characters, and they balance each other out. And you don't get that throughout the rest of the sequel trilogy, so they all come off as annoying because they don't balance each other out, and you don't get that development of character. Especially, I agree that Finn got totally snubbed. His arc in the second movie did not matter at all. They could have cut the entire thing and it would not have changed the movie.
Bit. Oh my God.
It had literally no bearing on the story, which is unfortunate because I think that the character of Finn had a lot of potential, and I can never remember the name. The character that he was paired with, Rose had quite a bit of potential, but
I thought that too.
They didn't do her justice in the writing, and they made both of them irrelevant. And then she was completely written off in the third movie to just like a cameo. I felt
horrible for her actress. Yeah.
Same. Because she wasn't a bad character, and the actress did a wonderful job, but the writing just did not do either of them justice.
Yeah.
It's a really difficult subject, especially because like the writing was awful for a lot of it, for a lot of the characterization. And that's where Star Wars makes its money, really, is its characters.
Yeah. Which is what George Lucas didn't get about the prequels. George Lucas thought that people came for the sci-fi, and when he made the prequels, he was like, I'm going to go hard on the sci-fi. And that's where all the really bad CGI comes from. And that's where all the like wacky, all these new random things that he added in that like you never see, because he was like, people don't come for the characters, they come for the sci-fi. And then he immediately was like, oh, people liked my characters.
Man who's never written dialogue in his life.
Yeah.
True. Well, I will also say people do come for the sci-fi, but they come for the practical effects of the original trilogy.
That too.
Because that's the thing, the practical effects of the original Star Wars movies still hold up.
Yeah.
The sci-fi CGI from the second trilogy does not, because it is very much a product of its time, and practical effects will always look better than computer generated.
That is one of the things that I did enjoy about the sequel trilogy, was they liked to go back to using puppets for a lot of their aliens and stuff, which I thought was very original trilogy-esque and looked cool, and it gave me that sense of nostalgia. But also, without just playing all my nostalgia strings, I also was like, this, I think this looks better.
It does look better. Puppets
CGI.
Always look better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, CGI Yoda is scary.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, I really don't think anybody's coming for the practical effects. I think all in all, Star Wars is a sci-fi show that kids watch and then adults like a lot after they've watched it as a kid. Because I watched the Star Wars when I was young. I loved the prequel trilogy. I didn't know what CGI was. I liked the funny green man flipping around and looking not real.
Ping pong ball Yoda.
Afterwards, now when I watch movies and I see CGI, I'm like, ugh, that looks gross. But, you know, I mean, I'll still watch a movie CGI or not usually. A practical effect, when I see it, I'm like, that looks good. But, like, the thing I was going to say about the characters and such is that it's such a difficult thing now, or at least for the sequels, it was really, really difficult because people would be like, oh, Rey is a poorly written character. And then people would say, well, she's a first female protagonist in Star Wars. You must be a sexist. And then it was actual sexist also being like, Rey is a bad character. So then it was like, okay, so who is just looking at the writing and who is a sexist?
You got the weird intersection. Yeah.
And then the people that would defend the bad writing even, like, it's like, okay, who's what? And then so it's just difficult all in all to even really talk about that movie hardly sometimes. But I think it's getting old enough now, the trilogy, that we can just kind of look at it objectively now. When it was happening, it was kind of scary to say anything.
Oh God, Twitter was more of a hellscape than usual.
Yeah, that's why I stuck with the Porgs. They were infallible.
Porgs unable to be criticized.
Yes, they better not be. Please don't. They're the only thing sacred in my heart.
Porgs
Twitter
problematic.
Trending porgs.
No, porgs problematic.
New slur for porgs? No.
Pertuset.
Yeah, that's really all I got to say about Star Wars. Like I said, super huge and influential in not even just in sci-fi, but outside of sci-fi. They're the thing. Yeah. Anything that's reached over gotten into the mainstream is something you can say they did a good job somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know, there's probably gonna be a bunch of kids that grow up, you know, here in 10 or so years, they're gonna be like, I love the sequel trilogy. That's what got me into Star Wars. And maybe it'll be like a thing where they're like, I started there and I realize how bad they are now and watch the old one.
That's the only way I'll be able to not those children.
Or who knows, maybe they'll start with Mandalorian, and then is it okay?
Then it's fine, because Mandalorian's fantastic.
Yeah,
I do like the Mandalorian. It's probably my favorite of the Star Wars things, honestly. Like, you asked me a favorite movie, but if I'm going to be honest, probably Mandalorian. My favorite Star Wars.
Like the Mandalorian.
That's the thing too, is the ending of the second season of Mandalorian gave me so much vindication, because I just wanted to see Luke Skywalker be cool, man. I just wanted to see him, because that's the thing, because I know Pertuset didn't care for him too much, and I know Jordan probably doesn't know, but in the extended universe, Luke Skywalker went on after the 6th movie to become this awesome, amazing,
I know,
badass. Okay, I didn't know if you were aware or not, but he became this awesome, amazing, badass, and wise teacher, and he learned from his mistakes, and he didn't immediately do a 180 and go back to his mistakes and ruin everything like he did in the sequels. And I just wanted to see him be cool and get to be a Jedi again and be a respectable character. And so the ending to season 2 of The Mandalorian, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the ending of the second season of Mandalorian. The ending scenes for the second season of The Mandalorian made me so happy. You can ask my family. I was down here in my room that my PC's in because it was going to be a home office. It's not now, so it's just it's my hole. I was down here, and throughout the entire house, you could just hear me screaming because I was screaming, yes, yes, over and over again as loud as I could for the entire scene. It made me so happy. Oh, man. And then he had a scary dream, so he tried to kill his nephew.
Because that makes sense.
Really scary, guys. You don't
It
understand.
really freaked him out. I will also, I love Mandalorian because of the like Star Wars tie-ins and Luke Skywalker or whatever, but also it's just a very interesting genre study.
It's very good on its own. It's a very good standalone show.
But it's very from a film perspective. The techniques that they use to make it are fucking incredible. The stuff that they've been using with the projection mapping and the way that they film those where they can be on location on an alien planet is amazing. And they can do like organic lighting and things like that. Well, organic as you can get with that kind of stuff. But like, you get to see the entire scene in world and it's not a green screen. It's fantastic. But the writing, and it's a very interesting study of how genre interplays with things, because everybody knows that Star Wars is kind of a Western. Yep. Mandalorian is definitely a Western. And it is so fascinating to watch like episodes of The Mandalorian alongside famous Western movies and make the comparisons. And it's a 1-to-1 comparison. There's an episode, I think it's episode 4 in the second season, and not the second season, the first season, where he meets Cara Dune, that is basically a 1-to-1 to Seven Samurai, but it's Star Wars and it's so good.
I've noticed that. I've learned, probably now I'm coming back and rewatching it, especially, I think my favorite show of all time, or at least my favorite like live action show, is probably Breaking Bad. And I like Better Call Saul a lot. And I realized, I looked up recently, that apparently those are being hailed as like, they're calling them modern Westerns. Because even though they're not really Westerns, it's got that same feel of like tense, really, super intense things versus justice and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mandalorian's all like that. And I've come to realize I think I might be a modern Western guy. Like that's my thing that I like a lot, because there's, I don't know, they got the action, they got that tension, they got good character writing, really good character writing, both shows. And also both Mandalorian, Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul all have, what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. AKA Gus Fring from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
I was acting.
He's an amazing actor. I am waiting for him to put the actor that played Mike Ehrmantraut, I forget his name, into Star Wars. He would be an amazing Sith Lord or Jedi. He would be like Obi-Wan's brother Bob or something like that.
Bob Kenobi.
Yeah.
It's close to Ben.
Yeah.
Bob and Ben Kenobi.
Speaking of Obi-Wan, that is the next show that's coming out.
The
Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which is coming out in May.
Yes.
Oh, soon after this episode drops.
Yes, actually, like I think
like the week or two after.
2 or 3 weeks. 3 weeks after, because recently they did an announcement where they were like, yeah, we actually have to delay it, but since we're delaying it, we're uploading the first 2 episodes on the same day.
Whoa.
Which I was like, why do you need to delay it then? I know that doesn't really make sense to me, but okay, I'm here for it, sure. Because they also delayed it by like 1 week, so it wasn't that big of a time difference.
They might have there might have been something in post-production that came up or something.
Yeah, I don't know how close the show is complete to when it is dropped anymore. I used to think a show is only finished when it comes out. That was naive me. Now I know that like shows are done usually months before they come out.
Yeah.
But now you got these ones that do like delay a week or so, and I'm like, okay, so what's wrong? Like I'm trying to.
Or like it might have been finished, and then somebody was like, "Oh shit, gotta fix this," and then they had to delay it. Yeah.
Like a typo in the credits or something like that.
It could be any number of things. Post-production takes as long as it takes.
But I'm excited for Obi-Wan Kenobi just because I love Ewan McGregor
Same.
as an actor. I think
That's
he's great.
true.
And I'm excited to see him be Obi-Wan Kenobi again, because he was really good as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm also excited to see Hayden Christensen get a fair whack at playing
Oh my god,
Anakin Skywalker.
I haven't seen what he's been up to. Last time I saw Ewan McGregor in something was what was that? Dr. Sleep, the Stephen King.
It was Stephen King. It was the Shining sequel.
Yeah. Love The Shining. Really love The Shining. We'll talk about that probably in Spooky Month.
Yeah.
He was also wasn't he the villain in Wonder Woman? No, that was Pedro Pascal.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
He was a villain in a Bond movie.
Maybe I don't watch any of the
Yes.
Bond
Recently.
stuff.
No, you're thinking he was the villain in Birds of Prey.
That's what it
He
was.
was Black Mask in Birds of Prey.
I didn't watch that.
Very good. I love a villain that I can hate. Like a villain that is just so irredeemably, disgustingly nasty that you can't help
Yeah.
but hate him.
Yeah.
He did that wonderfully in Birds of Prey.
He's also one of those actors that is like very old now, but always looks really young.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's either like 50s or 60s.
He's in his 50s, I think.
Yeah.
And
I
he
would-
just looks like he's in his 30s still, pretty much.
Did either of you guys watch Doctor Sleep?
I don't even know if I've heard of
watched-
Dr. Sleep.
I watched most of it, but then I got scared and had to turn it off because I kind of had
Really?
a panic attack. Yes, because it was the spoilers. It was the scene with the kid in the campsite with the I don't know if you could call it a cult, but the cult people kidnapped the kid.
Yeah, the
And-
chick from Hill House or whatever, Haunting of
Mhm.
Hill House chick.
Were you watching it alone?
No, I was watching it with my family.
Oh, wow. Because I was going to say, if you're watching it alone, I think that's
Oh.
understandable. If
Oh
you
no,
really-
I'm a
I
big
can't-
scaredy cat.
I watched it. First off, I didn't think it was scary. Second off, I didn't think it was a good successor to The Shining. And thirdly, I felt so bad for Ewan McGregor because he felt like he was the only talent in that show. Everyone else was giving the flattest performance of their life. And he
Yeah.
was out here acting his heart out. And I was like, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to this man that's trying to carry a production. It made me really sad because, like I said, I really like The Shining. Well, like I said, how passionate you are, Levi, about Star Wars, you'll
Mhm.
get that same passion for me in Spooky Month when we talk about The Shining and Stephen King
Yeah.
in general. There's a lot of Stephen King let down.
I've never seen The Shining.
It's lovely. If you watch the old one, it's something.
Eh.
I mean, I know that it's where the very famous "Here's Johnny" comes from,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the stuff about the trike in the hallway,
Yeah.
and it's like, is it haunted? It's a haunted
It's-
hotel that the guy buys.
The thing is, it's left up to interpretation. It's either it
It's
is
one of
haunted
those
or he's
movies.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
or
so
it's
It
it's-
could be
both.
both.
Or
Yes,
both.
it's like
Or-
Fight Club and American Psycho, where it's like,
Yeah.
this could all just be in their head and they're mentally
Yeah.
insane.
Mhm.
It could be also option 3 if you go to like the Stephen King universe thing, and it's got The Shining embedded in it, and so it's got this cosmic power that turns you crazy or makes
Yeah.
you think it's so there's like could be supernatural beyond supernatural.
Could be the weird turtle monster from It.
Yes.
I-
Yeah. But yeah, the way I think of The Shining, I think of it kind of like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where it's like it's an incredibly suspenseful film, and so you're going to be on the edge of your seat a lot of the time if it's the only thing going on. Otherwise, you'll get bored.
Mhm.
But if you're like ooh, 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 like you're waiting for the scare, and then it almost never comes until the very end. But that like I said, we'll save that for Spooky Month.
Yes,
We still got to talk about some sci-fi stuff.
indeed.
So, well, any other points about Star Wars right away?
Watch the holiday special.
Ship
It is
design.
real and it
Don't
can
do
hurt
it.
you. Yes.
It will hurt you. Don't do
It will hurt. Okay, they
Jordan, you
need
tell
to
us
know.
we can't advocate for people to go hurt themselves when we talk on the podcast, but you can.
But I am a proponent of watching bad movies because bad cinema is the best cinema.
You can learn a lot from how things go
You
bad. Like
Can
it's,
learn a lot.
don't do what I did.
Don't do what the Star Wars holiday special did. No, it's wonderful because they have to know about Chewie's kid.
You also have to know that there is hours of dialogue that you can't understand and there's no
It's so
subtitles.
bad. And B. Arthur sings. That's
There's also
true.
a
They
Lego
did
Star
not
Wars.
put subtitles for all of the Wookiee grunts. It's just Wookiees.
I think right now on Twitch, at the time we're recording this, like Lego Star Wars, the complete
Yes.
saga or something is
The
popping off.
the Skywalker saga is popping off because apparently it's a very
Fanboys
well
are
made game.
mad.
Yeah.
The fanboys are mad that Rey is on the cover of the game, even though this is the third installment of the Lego Star Wars game where they updated it to have the new movies. And so, of course, she's going to be on the cover of the
Mhm.
game.
And I've seen some of the people playing it. It's a very well made game, especially
Mhm.
for a Lego game. Like it's
I
All
haven't
the
seen
Lego games
anything.
are great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, all of
They got
Lego
a good
games are always
history.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like this might be the best Lego game
Mhm.
so
Oh.
far.
Are they gonna make a Lego movie after the Lego game?
The Lego
They-
Star Wars sequel trilogy.
There you go.
They did make a Lego Batman. I would trust the
Yeah.
people that made the Lego movie to make a Lego Star Wars
Me
sequel.
too. The people who make the Lego movies actually good, actually fire.
There is a Lego Star Wars holiday special that came out last year.
That's what I was thinking. Because you're talking about the holiday special. I was like, isn't there more than one?
There is more than one.
Yeah.
There's a second one, and this one has time travel.
Yo.
Levi is not pleased.
The woman's holiday special taint anything.
Holiday special. Nat One holiday special.
No!
It'll just be us grunting without subtitles.
I think that's what this
I've
podcast
changed my
already
mind.
is.
True. Wait. Okay, so we got to talk about sci-fi, like actual sci-fi now, right?
Yes.
Like sci-fi campaign, our sci-fi campaign, sci-fi.
This is another thing that will hurt me.
Yes.
We also, I think we should also briefly mention the Star Wars campaign, because I do have to mention that I had a pet lizard that was named Sassafras, and that's the only thing I remember other than Pertuset leading a communist uprising with a bunch of what was
Jawas.
it? Jawas. I
Jawas.
couldn't remember if it was Jawas or Ewoks, but it was Jawas.
I had an excellent character in that one as well. Very, very Shanae-esque. But
But
there were two big takeaways from that one. I think the first was my shower incident, and then the second was the communist rebellion.
this was earlier than Vivia 1 early, so it was like we had absolutely no
We
idea
didn't
what any
even-
of us were doing.
I don't think any of us even rolled stats for that. I think we were
No.
just rolling a single D20 for
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
Yep.
And yeah, the shower incident where I needlessly harmed Pertuset for no reason.
Nearly killed me.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then didn't
love that.
I won some kind of race. That was a very cool moment as well.
Was that in the
Yeah.
first one or the second one? Because didn't we do two separate
That was
Star
the
Wars
second
ones?
one, because the first one exploded because the world exploded and we couldn't get off the planet in time and we all
Yeah.
died.
Yeah, the first one was really, really
It
short-lived.
was like one
Yeah.
night because we all
Yeah.
died.
Yep.
I don't even really consider the first one real, because like
Mm-mm.
it was almost like a dream.
It's like a dream.
Yeah.
The second one was an experience. What do we even remember what the last thing we did in that one was? I remember you
the
were on like
revolution.
you were
Yeah, I think that was, and Taryn got he got one of the crystals, one of the lightsaber
Kyber-
crystals.
Kyber
Kyber
Yeah.
crystals.
Yeah. That was about it though.
I remember you were on the junkyard planet.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get him familiarized with it. Levi, you DM'd that, so tell him what was the plan? What was
I
going on?
There wasn't.
Levi said, "I like Star Wars. Let's play
Yeah,
it."
Let's play Star Wars.
I said I like Star Wars. Star Wars is cool. Let's be in Star Wars. And I was doing it was after the sequels, like the sequels had not come out at this point. They had been announced that they were coming out. I think maybe the first one was out and not the other two. So this was the point where like the fan base was like, okay, we have high hopes still.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm gonna do like a after sequels setting. So it's gonna be what my interpretation of what's gonna happen after the sequels is. So it was weird. And
The entire
don't-
thing was destroyed by a Jar Jar Pez dispenser.
I don't remember what your
Yes.
goals were. I don't remember what my
We didn't
intention
have
was.
any goals.
You had
I
an
remember-
NPC that was telling us to go do stuff for money.
You were
Don't
on,
remember why.
started on Coruscant, which is the big planet that everyone knows about.
Hmm.
That's the big city planet. It's entirely a city, and it's where the galactic government is. And it was like New Republic. And then like the planet came under attack or something, I think. So you had to go down to the under sectors, the below
Mhm.
parts. And then down there you got caught up with like some gang activity or something. You entered into a swoop bike race,
That I won.
won the race,
I tried to
One-
abduct a child while it was happening.
won a ship.
Why do you keep doing that?
That
Hey,
was
Keith,
prototype
that was the first
Shanae. Yeah, that was Shanae's prototype.
Shanae is the keep doing.
Yeah.
This is the first one. Yeah, won a ship from that. And then you had some guy who was like, "Oi, I like the Cardio jib. You guys did pretty good out there. I'm gonna hire you to do jobs for me, and I'll pay
That's
you."
right.
And you guys were like, "Oh yeah, sounds good." So he sent you to go get like something from this junkyard planet, and you went there, and there were Jawas there, and you were like at a big star cruiser that was being scrapped and you had to go in it to get something. But before you went in, you got on a sand crawler with Jawas, which I don't know why I had a sand crawler there. But the Jawas were not independent Jawas. They were enslaved / horrible working condition Jawas who had like foremen who were horrible to them. And Pertuset's character convinced them to rise up against their foreman and kill him.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And what did you say to do this,
well,
Pertuset?
hold on. We skip some details here. All right. First off, my character I remember was some Star Wars race that I don't know because I'm not familiar with them. That apparently was like really fluent. Like their whole thing was they're like there's a lot of diplomats of this race because they know like a bunch of languages.
Darth Porgus.
Yeah. Well, it was a race like that, but it was actually the host was speaking through the porg they had in their pocket at all times, and the porg was exuding Sith mind control onto the host to do his bidding.
Yep.
Which his name I believe was Anakin Skyporger.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And but we didn't know how to play, so I didn't have like languages known, and it was a bunch of languages. It was me going, Levi, I want to try and talk to the Jawas, and Levi said, okay, roll to see if you know the language.
Yeah.
And so I did, and I rolled poorly or mid, and so instead of saying something like don't you want to rise up and revolt, I said
No, it was something like you were talking about their boss. That's where the boss comes from at the
Because
end.
we wanted to
'Cause
meet,
you
we
were
wanted
like-
to talk to the boss.
yeah, I wanted to talk. I was like, can I speak to your boss? And then it turned
You
into
were like-
Misa weed to lick you, boss. And they didn't know what that meant, so I just kept talking, trying to poorly, which led to them chanting Misa weed.
No,
to lick
here's
you,
what
boss.
happened was we did the roll to see if you knew the language, and you didn't. You knew like an extremely broken, horrible version of it. Like if someone from Asia knew like 3 words of English and that's all they could keep saying over and over again. But then I also had you roll like a persuasion check on them with like a penalty, but you did really well.
It was like the best Nat 1 and Nat 20
no.
combination.
Even though you couldn't speak the language, they were captivated by you. They loved it so much. So they started chanting the phrase you had been saying, and then they just followed you when you.
And they revolted, and they overthrew their foreman.
And that's
we
where the
got
campaign
unfettered
left.
access. Yeah, that's where we stopped. Let's not forget about the shower incident on the way to the junkyard planet.
Yes.
While we were on route, my character's like, yeah, I'm gonna go take a shower because it's been like a day and I want to freshen up and feed my porg who's been hiding in my pocket this whole time, and go take a shower. And I guess I'm rolling to shower because this is before we knew how to play.
Yep.
And so it was like, oh, you dropped the soap, okay, I'm gonna pick it up, roll for it. You slip, okay, I'm gonna get up, you slip again, and this time you hit the faucet, so now more water's pouring down. Okay, start making drowning rolls. Okay. And I got like 1 HP, and then I survived because someone pulled me out of the shower. Which I didn't even think of at the time, but my porg, who is the real character, wasn't showering, so why was I taking damage?
The host would have died.
Yes, I guess the host would have died.
No
We'd
skin
have
off
to
the
get a new
pork's
one.
nose.
So that's the sci-fi that we promised. Well, that's the Star
the
Wars.
that's
first
the Star
sci-fi.
Wars. This isn't the sci-fi. There's
Sci-fi
even
is
more.
something
The
else.
sci-fi's even worse.
There's more. That's even worse.
Still didn't know how to play.
So this campaign, the sci-fi themed campaign, is probably the bane of my existence, and I hate talking about it.
I
think
still
it-
think it's wonderful.
It was horrible. It went horrible. I was trying to make it fun, and I think by me trying to make it fun for the players, I made it a miserable experience for myself.
Oh, buddy.
But the whole idea was it was our universe, sci-fi in the future, and it was this Earth that, like, somehow I didn't even get to this point how I understood this point, but somehow the Earth had a unified world government, and the government was very authoritarian, and we had instated a imperial monarchy, so we were an empire, but we were extremely isolationist, and we didn't let our people like go try to find aliens and stuff. And the whole thing was that like the government knew about all these alien races and they hated them for some reason. I didn't get to that part. And they wanted to annihilate them, and they wanted humanity to be the only race that was out there. And so they had spent all this time locked away in the solar system, our solar system, developing all these things so that we could utilize every single inch of our solar system without having to leave, so we didn't have to taint ourselves by going and meeting other alien races. So like the solar system was extremely advanced and had massive dense population centers of people everywhere, and the government had found out that there was this organization who was like trying to undermine them, of these scientists that they were trying to make a genocide weapon with. Pretty much it was going to be like a disease that killed every species that wasn't human. If you got it, it would just like be horrible, but it couldn't infect humans. And so the start of the campaign was all of my players' characters meeting each other after they had seen a thing that was like, oh, you want to go do a job? We got a job for you. And secretly the government had like picked all of them because they thought they were expendable people. And so they all got together, and the person, there's this strange dude in a suit and tie, kind of like Matrix style agent. What is Agent Smith? Is that what it is?
Mhm.
Yes, Agent Smith.
Yeah, like Agent Smith style suit, sunglasses. Tells him, he's like, go to this facility. These horrible people that are trying to massacre all these aliens. We can't let them get away with it. Go kill all of them, and we will pay you. Report back to us. And they were like, okay, boss, got it. So they go to this facility. They are given a ship to go to this facility, and they go to the facility. They get in the facility.
Wait, before you get into the meat of this, I think we need to clarify that all of the events of this campaign happen within the span of real time us playing it for 3 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Continue.
They go to the facility, and they're like scouting out, right? They're in the entry airlock, and they're like, okay, let's make sure that no guards like sneak up on us or anything. So they plan this ambush, and the guards come down because they're like, oh, that's weird. No one has used this airlock in a long time because we've been cut off from the government. And the party jumps them and gets them, and it goes really well, and they kill all of them. And they're like, yeah, okay, this is going to be easy. This is going to be a piece of cake, right? This is where it all went wrong.
This is where somebody shit themselves.
The beginning of the end.
One of our player characters, a player who is no longer with us, not because of this, just we just went our separate ways. He had this interesting thing he wanted to do, where basically he had like little bombs that he could throw, but they were like randomized bombs that all had different effects when you threw them. And they thought they heard someone coming down this corridor towards them. So he was like, I'm going to throw one of my bombs down there to see if it gets anyone. I was like, okay. This was back when, again, we didn't know how to play properly. So I was like, you have to roll to hit absolutely everything ever. You can't just aim in a general direction. Are you stupid? So I was like, roll to hit. He rolls 1. So I basically had him like do the wind up, and on the wind up, he just dropped it behind him in the middle of everyone. They were level 1, so they all had like 5 hit points, pretty much. The bomb goes off, kills one of the other PCs.
Yep.
And then the rest of them are all horribly wounded. These enemy guards come around the corner and point their guns at him, and they're like, put your hands in the air. And all of the player characters almost dead are like, yup.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Wait,
good.
didn't somebody fight it? I feel like somebody, maybe the same person threw the bombs, tried to fight it. I can't
I don't
remember.
remember. It's been so long.
No, that was during the interrogation, because they interrogated us, and then somebody did something real dumb during the interrogation.
Yeah.
So all of the PCs surrendered because they didn't want to die, and got taken up to like the med bay where they were being held hostage, pretty much, where it was then revealed to them that these people that they came here to wipe out were actually the good guys, because they were all scientists who had been part of this project, and they basically all were like, you know what, this is horrible. We can't do this. We gotta break away. And the government had sent the players here to basically mop up their crimes and then kill the players because they were expendable and get away with it and be done. So the players immediately were like, oh, well, we're going to side with you guys then. Duh. Like, you guys are the good guys. But that's the thing is I didn't intend for this to happen at all. I wanted them to kill all of these people and then learn that they were the good guys and then be on the lam, right? They had to run from the government who was trying to get them. But at this point, at this stage, they were like, "Oh, you guys are the good guys. We're going to join up with you." So I was like, "Oh, fuck." So that was stage 1 of it going horrible and bad. And then stage 2 was the government had given them these like devices, and I don't even remember what they were for. It was like to make sure they went there and, actually did the job and all that, since the government had given them this ship or something like that. And long story short, they were actually like secretly like recording devices to make sure they did it and everything. So when they got back on the ship, the government was like, they didn't do it. Yeah, they fucking turned on us. Get them. So immediately as they're heading back to like try to do something, they get intercepted and they get boarded, and their ship gets brought onto a big capital ship that the Empire brought to stop them. And they all get arrested and brought before the Empress herself. And she executes them individually.
Well, I rolled a nat 20 to run away.
Yeah, that too. So, and one of the characters, I think, saved their death saving throws and didn't die.
I think that was TJ.
He
That was
survived by
TJ.
flirting.
Oh, that's right.
That's what it was. No, I was
survived.
the one that got my death saving throws, and then I got up and I just ran. And you made me roll for it, and I got like a nat 20 to just yeet out of there.
Yeah.
And so I left.
My character, Good Cop, managed. That was the name, by the way.
I forgot that you were good cop.
You were a good cop, and then another player was
Hey.
bad cop.
Listen, I actually had an amazing story for Good Cop, where they were a lawful good character that was like a bimbo over the top good character, but no one ever talked to her. So her whole thing was she was a good person, so much so because she actually killed someone and went into a state of reality denial that she had to be a good person.
Oh my
God.
So it was
god.
always over the top good. Like,
Were you the cleric?
I mean, pretty much, but like,
I just remember that one of the memes that came out of sci-fi was whenever the character who also dropped the bomb and almost killed everyone did anything stupid,
Oh,
good cop always went, "Oh no."
yeah, oh no, because I didn't want to be like, "Oh, you idiot," because I was trying to be like a good character. So it was just like he would.
Oh,
That
honey.
character would say something that would be obviously horrible, like, "No, I didn't hide the body somewhere," and my character would just be like, "Oh no." Yeah, my character, Bad Cop, got killed, and so my character, Good Cop, went on like a murderous rampage right after that, and got a few shots on the Empress leader lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
But died obviously because I was pretty much a level 1 character.
And they
came in
were
the
also
next
in the
character.
middle of an enemy ship, so got immediately shot several times.
Yeah.
Just don't suck.
Should have ran, apparently.
Should have run.
But
I tried the second time around and that didn't work either.
No, that
yeah,
didn't
but
work.
in the long term, everyone did end up dying. But yeah, so DJ's character gets away, but because he's going to be a double agent, and Jordan's character gets away and restarts everything, pretty much picks up a new crew,
And then immediately gets caught again.
because another player who doesn't play with us anymore, but we do know them still,
Mr. NL.
they decided, I want to be a bounty hunter who's hunting down the party and trying to catch them. Okay. Me being my stupid, dumb self, early DM, not sure how things should work. I should just say yes to whatever my players propose to me. Was like, yeah, let's do it. So his first interaction with them was finding them, immediately being
gun
like,
us down.
yo, they're here, and then attacking them, chasing them off planet. And then this was like the next session.
We all got arrested first. We were all in the same jail, so we had to work together to get out of the jail, and then kept chasing each other.
And this was the part where like they got outside of the solar system, so they found out that there were humans who over the years had escaped and made their own planets with aliens and lived there, and it was fine. Everything was fine, and it was supposed to be a big like whoa, but it got completely underplayed by the fact that his other player character was trying to murder them. And I think the first thing he did was like bomb a marketplace
Yeah,
with a
he
fireball to try to kill all of you.
Yeah.
And he killed several civilians in the process. an act of terrorism. And you all got arrested. I don't remember why you got arrested, but
because we were firing back at him.
Yes. And then he ran, so he was like eluding the cops. And by the time you escaped and were getting off world, he was still eluding the cops and was like, "Yo, there they are," and then just chased you in his ship.
Yes.
And then because he was bounty hunting you, he was like, "People employing me, they are here. I know where they are. Come get them." So then they got intercepted again.
We were not as lucky. Yeah, we were not as lucky the second time to just
and
leave.
died.
I
Also,
believe
they weren't as lucky because they got away the last time. So this time they made sure to blow up their ship after getting all of them on the ship.
Yep.
as I recall it, TJ's character was still fine actually, and was like brainwashed, alive but
Mhm.
brainwashed, and was no longer TJ's character, but his character lived. And then I think Lucius, my character, tried to do the same thing, but it was unsure whether or not he was getting killed or brainwashed.
I
And because
don't remember what happened to Elliot.
I don't know, but because that was the second character very quick back to back that died, I quickly decided to not put nearly as much effort into my characters as I had for Good Cop and Lucius. So moving forward after my second character, Lucius, I was just going to start going down the alphabet. So my next character after Lucius was going to be Boocious.
And so on.
And so on. I was really excited for you guys to meet Boocious. I anticipated it would have been there by the end of the day. But
But yeah, I don't even remember where sci-fi ended.
I think
that
it
was
was
it.
after, well, because sci-fi ended and everybody was like, okay, let's just go back to playing Vivia 1
Yeah.
because we kind of burned this down.
Yeah, because that's the thing. We started playing sci-fi because we were like, "Oh, we're burnt out on fantasy. We don't want to play fantasy," and we did so horrible in the span of
horribly
3 days
yeah.
that we were like, "Let's go back to fantasy."
Because that's what it was. Because that was all in the span of 1 week. Because we did the time skip in Vivia, and then Levi was like, "Oh, we're gonna take a break and play sci-fi and JoJo for a little bit," and so we did that, and then sci-fi burned to the ground, and we were like, yeah, let's just go back to Vivia 1. And
Yeah.
this happened in the span of like 4 days because we were on Christmas break.
Yeah. I can't recall for sure if it was like Vivia 1 time skip, JoJo sci-fi, or if it was sci-fi JoJo Vivia 1.
I know it was Vivia 1 and then interim, but I don't remember if it was sci-fi JoJo or JoJo sci-fi.
I think it was sci-fi JoJo Vivia 1. I think that's how it
Okay.
went.
Which after
Because we anticipated doing sci-fi for a while and then it didn't happen, so we were like, let's just do JoJo.
Yeah.
Let's just use JoJo.
That's
now.
right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Which after you getting to talk about sci-fi, Levi, soon, that means coming soon I'll have to talk about JoJo and skirt
Please.
copyright.
See, unlike sci-fi, I had a lot of fun with JoJo.
I love JoJo.
I'm glad you had fun, but it is one of my greatest shames. Like I said before, it is the skid mark in the underwear of my career.
I think it was wonderful.
Because I don't know how much we should say about where it was set and everything, but long story short, it was set in the hometown we all grew up in. That was the setting, which made it just like wild when we would meet people that like we all knew in real life,
or like our public figures.
Yeah, like the mayor of
use
the
county
town,
commissioners and
county
stuff.
commissioners, and we were all like, bro, this is amazing, because we thought it was the funniest stuff.
We really did.
And it was really funny, like when they would be villains and we had to fight them. And if you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, audio listeners, they were JoJo villains. So it was like horribly over the top, crazy dudes with weird powers. And
my favorite encounter is what you did to our movie theater, where we went into the movie theater and became part of the sitcom. Oh my God, Disney owes you royalties because you did WandaVision before WandaVision did WandaVision.
Yes. What is the name of the song I used? It's from.
I don't remember.
It's a sitcom theme song.
Was it the Cheers theme song?
Not Cheers. I think it was not Full House. It might have been Full House. What's the name of the Full House theme song?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't remember what the name is, but it's the Everywhere You Look.
Yes, that's what it was. Everywhere You Look. That was the name of the stand. Everywhere You Look. That's right.
That was great because we were all different tropes, and I can't remember because I know that Levi and I had the same name for no explicable reason.
Yeah. Oh well. We'll talk about that another day because I think our time is approaching or has over. Yeah, that's Star Wars and sci-fi.
Yeah.
Mostly. We'll probably talk about that again because there's a lot to talk about the sci-fi genre at
Mhm.
large.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about.
But
You
yeah,
gotta talk about the space traders.
There's
Spaceballs.
not much
Oh, we
to,
forgot to talk about Spaceballs. Dang it, that'll be a whole episode in and of itself.
we can do
Word
that
of the day.
instead of the Firefly episode.
Yeah.
No! Breaking my fucking heart over here.
Yeah. But yeah. Any other sci-fi points, anybody?
No.
Dreads are people too.
Droids. I thought you said dreads.
I thought you said
Droids!
drugs.
Droids! Droids, as in robots.
There you go.
Hi, this is Jordan from Nat One Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the episode you just listened to, and we hope that you come back for more soon. If you'd like to keep up with the zany shenanigans of our lives and the different things that we do, you can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Castbox, and Anchor. We look forward to seeing you again soon. And hey, thanks.